Hey everyone, welcome to the Big Fitness Show. I am now weighing in still at 188.4 pounds. My co-host thinks I'm getting huge somehow, but that's okay. We'll, we'll know. Look at those
You're looking jacked. Holy smokes. Good for you.
12.5-inch guns right there. The 188.4 didn't go to my arms, for sure.
Oh,
But
shoot.
welcome to the Big Fitness Show. Like I said, episode 23. We have Big Mike Behrens with us, who is leaning out. We're both hopefully going to meet somewhere in the middle of that bell curve, right around, what would you say, 210, 215 would probably be good for
Oh
both of
God.
us.
I don't know if I can get there, man. I'm
I don't know if
270
I
right
can get
now.
there at this point.
Yeah, that would take a lot for me to get down to 210. I don't think I've been 210 since like high school, college maybe. First year of college or something like that was the last time I weighed that much. So to get down there would be a bit of a challenge. But yes, I am trying to lean out a little bit.
Well, I know one way, but I don't want to put that on you. I don't want you to have a spine infection. Go,
Yeah, no, like
we'll
I'll
drop
pass
weight,
that.
though. I'll drop a lot of weight.
Yeah, that would definitely do it. But I will pass on all of the other stuff that comes with it, because I saw your journey and I just don't. You went through it for both of us. That's good.
I hope, hopefully I went through it for everybody we both love and care about. And
Good
even
point.
people we might not care about that much. I don't want to see anybody. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. So
Yeah, I
it's
used to say that to my wife, that same thing about when she was pregnant, because all three kids, she was sick every day. She puked every single day. And I just always said to her, I said, well, you can only hope that, maybe you're going through all this so that nobody else that we care about has to, right? And it's just it was trying to keep positive, and so hopefully it was just funny.
did it work?
Uh Most of the other people in our life that we know and care about haven't really had terrible pregnancies or been sick every single day. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of other women out there that have it all the time, but most of the people in our life haven't been sick every single day like she was. So maybe it did.
Well, I was talking about when you were telling her trying that like that
Oh,
told her, did that work for her? That's what I mean.
no, not really.
Yeah. Didn't work when my wife told me either. You can walk. I'm like, no, 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 no. Um, During that time and during the time of that, we went back and forth as well. And that's the subject of episode 23. Once in a while, we want to help people out there, not with
Mhm.
just with their fitness journey, but maybe, just maybe, you want to run a business. Maybe you want to become a content creator. Maybe you want to put something out there in the world to serve others. You want to be a source of information for others, albeit on YouTube, podcast, social media, all the above, a blog, whatever it might be. So once in a while, Mike and I are going to share our experiences and hopefully give you some great tips and hopefully give you the motivation to get up and do it. Because if you keep showing up and you put that 18 minutes a day in every single day, and what did they say? Like if you put 18 minutes a day into something in a year, you'll be better than 95% of the people in that field.
Oh yeah, totally.
And
Totally.
that's
Yeah,
not a
that
lot of
goes.
time.
Sure, sure. Yeah, that goes back to the compounding effect we were just talking about last episode. Like it's definitely put in the time every single day for sure. Yeah.
18 minutes is like a forensic files episode. So by the time the guy or the girl is guilty, life in prison without parole, and then they got to say at the end, it was forensics.
Yeah.
You could have been better at whatever you're planning to do.
Yeah. I
Especially
mean,
and if you go to prison, you can do it all day long and more than 18 minutes a day. But we don't want you going to prison to be productive.
yeah, no, we'll pass on that. Nobody wants you to go there. So, but as far as today's episode and what we're going to talk about, the idea of sharing fitness tips and things like that has come up for Stevie and I of like, well, why are we doing this? How are we going to do this? But there's some insights into content creation, being a fitness creator that we want to talk about and maybe share some things that you could do if it, not that you want to be a full-fledged fitness creator, but maybe there's things that we do that you could do to inspire other people. Cause the whole goal here of what we're doing is to help people live healthier every single day. And that's the purpose of being a fitness creator. And in my opinion, if you're not doing it for that reason to help other people, then it's just an ego thing. Why are you doing it if you're not trying to help other people? And I know for us, that's 100% where we're coming from is we do this because we want to help people. I know everything that you've done for years on your fitness channel, everything that I'm doing on my channel, and the purpose of this show is because we just feel like we want to help as many people as we can. And we have a certain set of skills that allow us to do that in a cool way. So we're going to talk about that a little bit today.
And by the way, everybody, when I posted that reel up on Instagram, everybody thought I needed help. They thought I had MK Ultra or something, or went into Manchurian candidate mode. My wife says whenever I'm focused, she goes, your mouth wasn't open. Cause usually if I'm watching TV, it's like, I mean, like if I really like something, I'm like, she knows. So I'm glad you have a good sense of humor about that. I was listening to what you were saying.
No, I know you were. For those of you who don't know what Stevie's talking about, he posted a thing on his Instagram the other day where I'm talking
As you were talking about CrossFit, but
yeah. And it was the song "Hello Darkness, My Old Friend" came on, and he was just kind of all wide-eyed and spacing out, but he was doing something on the computer. I know he was listening. It was just really, really funny piece
I
of
was
content.
looking at CrossFit stuff to try, not the memes, because I look at those when we're not recording, but I was trying to find information because what you're talking about, I was trying to figure out like how many CrossFit gyms there are and this and that. And there was like a million different, like they went anywhere from like maybe 12,000 to 18,000 down the nine, like all different stuff. And I was just like, that's why I went, oh, there's so many numbers, like which is real.
Yeah.
Shout out to DaVinci Resolve for dynamics who made that really easy to do.
Heck yeah. No, that's cool. Yeah. No, I mean, so that's a great transition into talking about creating content and how we can do that and making it entertaining and making it fun and having some of the tools and things that we do. But let me ask you a question to kind of kick off this conversation about content creation, because you've been doing this a little longer than I have as far as the fitness creation. What was it that made you even get started with the fitness channel and doing that kind of stuff and creating fitness content?
Well, when I sat back and I tried to think about where to pivot, because that's another thing we're going to talk about with content creation, as well as an upcoming episode about running a fitness business or any business. You have to figure out when to pivot. And you and I are men of faith, so we pray about it. And then if God presents something to us, maybe the sign to pivot or do whatever. I was running the tech channel, was T4's show. It was gaining a little bit of momentum, but every channel, every content you create or every category will have, I mean, famously with stuff like this, it's called pod fade, where after 10, 20 episodes, you sort of fall off or you hit a rut because it becomes sort of like work after a while. Mm-hmm. With content creation, I started off with the tech channel, not realizing like I was building a foundation for what was next and then what was next after that. So, but during that, I was getting tech stuff, I was reviewing it, I was learning as I was going along. And then it just got to a point where it was so oversaturated and technology moves laterally. It's been moving laterally for many, many years. Like outside of the Apple chips, like there's been no new anything if you think about it, right? Just bigger phones, bigger iPads, bigger computers, up processor, whatever it might be. So I saw the end of the road for me as that. Then I said, I love fitness. I love technology. I love fitness. And I'm still to some degree in love with wrestling. That's why I started the analysis. Oh my God, I stroked out. The wrestling analysis channel. So I got to say both at the same time. Say one word or the other, it messes up. But basically, when you're figuring out what to do, and you should think this, if you don't want to pivot, you'd love to be consistent throughout all of time. You have to say to yourself, what am I going to create that I'm never going to get bored of? What do I see myself doing and being involved with and interested in for the rest of my life? Two of those three things is technology and fitness. And I was blessed enough to pay my dues, like you famously say about the wrestling and the gym. I paid my dues with the tech channel to learn how to be a one-man show.
Yeah.
But now with the fitness, no matter what happens, if I need to turn something around, I don't have to rely on a person to film, person to edit, person to voiceover, person to do even just the mundane social media or logistical stuff. I have to teach myself all that stuff, just like you with the flat tire.
Yeah.
That's the third flat tire that you fixed,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you fixed it. You did it yourself. You didn't have to go to Discount Tire. You didn't have to wait 3 hours. Time is money.
Mhm.
So that's what I would say happened. And then with the fitness stuff this year, the fitness affiliate business dropped off tremendously. Still very blessed to have been making a living, but it's way, way down.
Sure.
God, in my opinion, presented, hey, you got this smart board. You still know a lot about wrestling. You still have your mental stuff. You haven't got CT fully yet. So just why don't we just apply this? And this thing has blown up beyond what I could ever guessed. So
Sure.
that's kind of in a way, and there could be another pivot after this. So I guess the theme is start out with what you're really going to be passionate about or believe you're going to be passionate about for the rest of your life, but also be prepared to use that knowledge to pivot when the time's right.
Yeah. Oh, that's good,
I know
man.
it's a lot of stuff to figure, but that's kind of like my journey up until now.
I mean, yeah, that's really good. The progression of how you just shared that of one thing led to the next, and uh you found something you loved, and that's what got you into the fitness stuff. When did you know that, like, because you've been, how long have you been doing the fitness channel? I mean, I
2000,
followed you years
2000,
ago.
2015, around 15 or 16. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. And when did you start doing reviews right away, or was it just getting more into just fitness content? Because you've done, in the gamut of your channel over the years, you've done a bunch of educational stuff, reviews. You've got some workouts on there, some yoga stuff. I mean, when did you really find the niche of the reviews?
Probably when we turned the entire apartment into a home gym, I had that novelty going for me because, everybody has a spare bedroom or a garage or whatever. Like right now, I feel like that I've lost a little bit of the magic
Mm.
of the novelty of like this dude turned his entire home into a gym. Garage gym, everybody's got one and it's what it
Sure.
is. But what I've done with that is once again pivoting and evolving. Evolving is a better word than even pivoting. We talked off air about okay, my editing knowledge is getting better, but I don't have enough time. And also
Mhm.
at the same time, I'm not getting better enough quickly to be efficient. So I'm
Sure.
going to subscribe to Motion Array, get the plugins, and have even more fancy graphics, rebrand everything, including the big fitness show with us, and make it look professional. So what you have to do, just like a businessman, you have to look at your content honestly, and you have to look at it really like almost critique it to a fault, like be rough on yourself and then see the holes and improve on it. Because you
Mhm.
can't sit there and go, like, oh, the audience is stupid for not watching my stuff, which a lot of companies do right now. But but um but when did I know? I'd say I just went way out here and started workouts, this and that, trying to sell programs, trying to do this, trying to get people to follow all that stuff. And then it just kind of went down
Mm.
into a focused niche of the
Yeah.
home garage gym products. And then recently we talked about this since it's falling off a little bit. I was like, this is an opportunity to serve others, to give people free content. People have supported, used the affiliate links. Now I'm going to give them resistance band workouts. I'm going to give them instruction. I'm going to become that information source and hopefully garner more support and people using links off of the free stuff. It's
Sure.
you kind of got to always be fluid and moving with that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Oh, it makes total sense. And my takeaway from what you were just saying there is that the core of why you are doing what you do is because you want to serve other people. Even with the tech channel, it was talk about tech, help people understand tech, and then got into fitness and started helping people understand fitness, trying to keep it on a very beginner level, teach people simple things they can do, but then also give reviews. I mean, I think that's one of the things that you really kind of, you carved out a niche for yourself in the review piece of it, because you do love fitness so much, and you're obsessed with it. You have to do it all the time, every day, overtrain, all the things that you do, but it's you took that love and turned it into something that could serve other people, and then you were able to earn a living on the back of it, right? But that wasn't the driving force. The driving force was, uh, I want to help other people. And then, to continue, now you see an opportunity to continue to help more people. That was the impetus behind us doing the Big Fitness Show. It was like, we wanted to do something together because we both are creators and we both enjoy creating.
And it
But
took
what can we
years.
well, yeah, but what can we do to actually help people? Because it's one thing to create stuff, and like you can see on social media now, everybody is a creator. Everybody's a content creator in content. I don't fault anybody because I'm a content creator. So like I get it. Everybody has the ability to do that. But I think it's that's all right. I think it's different when you're creating content from a place of serving versus a place of selfishness. And I think a lot of people create content out of pure selfishness and ego, and just showing off or showing off your body or all this kind of stuff. And I think that falls flat as a content creator. You have to serve people. You have to give some type of value when you're creating content. And it's your content, when you approach it from a place like you do. I think you approach all of your content, and even with the Wrestling Analysis channel, you're approaching that with helping people understand. It's not the
Not
Stevie
exposing
Richards.
the business. I'm giving it credibility. That's what I try to do.
What? Yeah, exactly. And it's a place of serving a fan base and serving a customer base that is eager to learn that kind of information. And everything that you're doing, the new channels, or the new channels, the new content on the channels, the new themes of each channel or each episode or each video, the different themes that you're going to do on the wrestling channel is all in the mindset of serving. And so I think what really makes it cool from a fitness content creator perspective is just having that mindset of serving in all that you do. And I think that's why you're having some success there, dude.
Thank you. My graphic designer takes forever for these graphics, though.
I know your graphic designer sucks.
Turnaround time, relying on these people. This guy, my very close dear friend, my brother, White Behrens, is an amazing graphic artist. His wife as well, and definitely some great stuff. Thank you again. I'll say it publicly for creating that artwork. I couldn't have captured the X's and the O's and all the art stuff better, and the banners and stuff. It is my weakness. So I think we'll talk about that, because it sounds like an interview. You're asking me questions. I'm going to ask you
Yeah.
a question,
Yeah.
because your mission statement is different than everybody else's in the supplement industry. The
Sure.
supplement in the fitness industry, especially supplements, it's so full of information, snake oil salesmen, quick fixes, 21-day stuff, miracle pills, all this stuff. And you made your name with X Endurance in the supplement industry as Big Mike Behrens, not even underneath X Endurance, but within the CrossFit community.
Mm-hmm.
You've made your name with some of the most, I would say some people in CrossFit are most kind of like cautious when it comes to other things, like outside
Totally.
things like that. But speak about that, because you've been doing X Endurance for a very long time. You've been representing them. You've been the supplement guy, at least to me, for many years. And you grinded and paid your dues. And now, after all these years, you want to be that information source to serve others. Like how did you feel going from that and then trying to stand outside of that as a kind of like a third party?
Sure. Well, I mean, I think one of the things that I've always done is, and we're talking about content creator, fitness content creator. I've been a content creator, just not in the online world for a very long time, because I've been in the supplement industry for 10 years, and my content was just one-on-one, talking to people, educating people. I spent a lot of time in the
Not
last
trying
10
to
years.
sell them stuff, though. That's the key.
No,
Yeah.
right. And so that's why I feel pulled to get into more content creation now, is because there's so much misinformation out there. There's so much in the sales. You got to sell product. I get it. I can't fault anyone for trying to sell a product that they create. You got to do it. But the integrity is where I have an issue and where it comes into play for me. And I've learned so much over the years of being in person, talking to people, asking or answering their questions, helping them work through things. I can remember I used to go into stores and I would set up a table at the store to sample my product, but then I would have customers come into the store, not be interested in my product at all. And I would talk to them about other products on the shelves, why this one's better and this one's not, all this kind of stuff. And it was a lot of information that people just didn't know because they've never been taught. And so I did that for since 2013, uh, until this last year and a half, maybe 2 years at most before I started putting out any kind of content. But this year in 2023 is when I finally got serious about, okay, I'm actually going to create content around supplementation. But for 10 years, I've done all of that on an individual basis. I used to go to CrossFit gym, or I still do go to CrossFit gyms, but I used to spend a lot of time in CrossFit gyms in front of classes doing an education session about the products, why they need them, why they don't need them. I've done a ton of Zoom calls where it's, hey, do we even need supplements? And I answer specific questions about supplementation. And so to me, I've just learned so much about how so many people don't know what they're talking about. And there's so many supplement salesmen out there that make a product, but it's underdosed. It's got bad ingredients in it. It's got cheap ingredients in it. So they don't actually work. And I want to help cut through that crap because people waste money. Excuse me. People waste money on things that they just don't need, that they shouldn't spend their money on, or they prioritize things in the supplement world that they shouldn't prioritize, and it gets so frustrating to me. And so for me, when I decided that I really wanted to start creating content, it was, how can I best serve people in the supplement space? I know supplements. I know how to talk to people about supplements. I know how to take complicated information about supplements and make it super simple for the average person to understand. And that's my strength. And I've always been able to do that in a in-person one-on-one setting. But now taking that online is I'm able to reach so many more people. And hopefully the goal is to cut through a lot of the BS that's out there around supplements so that I can serve people and help them make better decisions and help them, live healthier because of supplementation. But then it has to be, I'm kind of went off on a tangent there, but that was
Well,
kind
what
of
you're
my
saying
roundabout
is
way.
the word I think of when you're saying that is authenticity.
Yeah,
Be authentic. And I think this goes to anybody wanting to create content, put their name out there. You're going to be, if you're BSing, it's going to be found out way sooner
totally.
than later. You're going to
Totally.
find out. And if you start trying to punch up above your current pay grade where you're at, you're going to be uncomfortable. You're not going to enjoy it. It's not going to be natural. People are going to see through it. So being authentic and being exactly who you are and
Mhm.
where you are exactly in your journey, that's what people want to see. They don't want to see you arrive as an expert.
Right.
People all just like wrestling. They want to be like, I saw Mason Beck wrestle before he was a big star on TV.
Sure.
They
Sure.
they take great pride in the fact that they saw your journey.
Sure.
And that's what YouTube is. That's what social media is. That's what a blog is. And when you do that, you have to share all the bad stuff, the vulnerabilities, what you don't know, because everybody, if you notice, everyone on social media is perfect. Everybody on
Sure.
YouTube knows everything. They're, they're driving $1 million cars and they're doing this and that, and they're big influencers,
Yeah.
which by the way, most of that's all rented for the day.
Yeah.
Say that. But if you're authentic, like we don't try to be, we just can't help it. It
Mhm.
never really served us too well in professional wrestling, let's be honest.
Sure.
Phonies and politicians and
Hmm.
people that are inauthentic are going to be going a lot further.
Sure.
But because in wrestling, people in charge, they just want to hear what they like to hear. They don't
Sure.
ever want to hear the truth.
Sure.
So what I'm saying is you can make it easier on yourself all around by just being exactly who you are. And if you aren't
Totally.
sure who you are, ask somebody else. Say, what do you
Mhm.
see when you see me? What do you see when you watch my videos or
Yeah.
listen to my podcast or see? And if they're honest enough to say, you come off like a condescending douchebag, they probably did you the biggest favor they'll ever do because now you can pivot
Yeah.
in the right direction and not try to be a phony. So I would say probably number one, no matter what you're doing, business, content creation, life in general, just make it easy on yourself and just be yourself.
I couldn't agree more with that. I feel like in today's world, people get exposed. There's a lot of fakes out there. There's a lot of people that are fake. And you know what? You might have a lot of success for a little while. You really might. And you might never get exposed. But the people who have create longevity are the ones that do it with credibility and are authentic to who they are and genuinely help people and do it in a completely authentic way. And that is what is the formula for long-term success, is just being authentic in everything that you do. And if you come on here and, you know, if you and I were on this trying to be a fitness content creator right now, but both of us were probably 200 pounds overweight and didn't know how to do anything, and we're sitting here eating McDonald's on the show while we were talking, people probably aren't really going to
You just
listen
gave me
to
an
us.
idea.
Oh.
Just gave me an idea.
Uh,
The fast food episode.
oh, there. Hey, yeah, we should definitely talk about that. I
Okay.
mean, I really do think we should talk about
What
that.
if we
But
do like a cheat day episode where once per month we're eating stuff? Yeah, I mean, the morbid curiosity of people to like, got to tune in for this.
the thumbnail is just us stuffing our face with candy and McDonald's.
Just the sugar, just the candy. I
Uh,
feel like put
uh.
my head through that wall back there.
Hey, I have a sweet tooth and I love some candy, you know, and that would used to be my thing when just to sidetrack us for a minute, when I was wrestling every weekend and doing it pretty consistently 10 years ago, on the way home from shows, I would always stop and get like a bag of candy or some gummy bears or something. And I would just, that was my crutch at the end. But I was, 10 years ago, so I could handle it. It wasn't as big a deal, but I still have that sweet tooth. So we could talk about that.
I was going to put up, I'm afraid to put it up, but I should, because when I want something and I feel like, because you're going to have a little bit or you're going to hold off and gorge and it's going to be no good.
Yeah,
So we're kind of telling you something you shouldn't be told,
sure,
like if you do have that urge, just the serving, make it as small as possible.
sure,
So when I
sure,
have Greek yogurt, because I still have the problem with the infection killed all my gut flora. So I still need to eat Greek yogurt and stuff with probiotics in it. But once in a while, meaning sometimes almost every day, I will take a scoop of light whipped cream and put it in the Greek yogurt along with
There you
granola
go.
and other stuff. It
There
is,
you go.
I want to put that up as a video because I made a little YouTube short, but
Yeah.
it'll either be hated or it'll be the best recipe ever. But that's
It's probably pretty good.
authenticity. We're talking
Well,
like,
sure,
this is what I like. I love, dude, you put me at a Chinese buffet or sushi buffet, dude, it's
sure.
over. It's just over. I'm not going anywhere.
Well, yeah, no, it's true. I mean, but being authentic and don't pretending like you don't ever do that, like I I'm sure that there are people in this world that eat perfectly clean 100% of the time. Sure. I'm sure that people are that way. But let's be real. You're not going to eat perfect all the time. And so it's okay to share that. Even as a fitness content creator, it's okay to share that you're not being perfect because nobody's perfect, right? And so but it goes to that authenticity, and being as authentic as you possibly can is what gives you long-term staying power, long-term credibility. And I think, I've before we started this, I've followed what you've done for years, and you're authentic in everything that you say. And I think that's what's given you staying power as a creator, and what is coming through now in this phase of where you're at as a creator. You are completely authentic in everything that you say. And I think one of the reasons why on your wrestling analysis channel that the what does it feel like is going to be a big hit. That theme of the episodes is, what does it feel like to get slammed onto thumbtacks? What does it feel like to I won't spoil it, but it
That's
might be
okay.
out by then.
Get scared by Goldberg. Yeah, it'll be out.
What does it feel like to be speared by Goldberg? Like you authentically know how that stuff feels. And if you were trying to talk about what that feels like and never actually felt it, it would bomb big time. And so as a creator, I think that's what makes it so special and unique, is that you genuinely have that. And then the fitness and your fitness journey, the recovery from your spine infection, that authenticity that you bring to the table is what makes you successful and is what is giving you some of the success that you're having right now.
Well, thank you. The same
Yeah.
goes for you. We just can't. That's why we're friends, and that's why we've come together. I think the advice I would give, and you can add on to this, would be what you just described, whether you're a fitness content creator or a regular content creator or the upcoming episode about running a business. Let's just call it a business because fitness business has its own little kind of things that are unique, but really it's running the business. You have to look at the field. You have to look at the entire field of what you're planning to go into. Like I'll take the wrestling, for example. The wrestling, I looked at it and I was like, what's making money in wrestling right now? Well, most of the people that make money have beefs, they have angles going on Twitter, or they're burying each other. There's a shoot going back and forth. It's always negative and toxic. So for years, I simultaneously had no desire to be in anything like that. So that's why I kind of disappeared from wrestling for a while to most people. And they didn't know about the fitness channel. That's a whole nother thing about know your audience. We can talk
Mhm.
you I can pass that to you next. But I was looking at the field and I said, I don't want to do any of that stuff, but there has to be something.
Hmm.
I cannot waste. And my wife even said it, you have over 30 years of experience. You felt, and she gave me the idea. She goes, you felt things that people can never even understand. And I was like,
Hmm.
that's it. That's one
Yeah.
thing right there.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at the field and also the two things I always talk about when I create content: positive and productive, not negative and reductive. There's no, every time I make a piece of content, and the same thing with whatever you do, we have to move a little bit forward, learn a
Mhm.
lesson, move here, improve, look like you're at least going in the direction you want to go before maybe a pivot happens. But I said, okay, I hear all these wrestlers talking about, well, Meltzer and the dirt sheet writers and this person who makes money talking about wrestling, this person, they've never done it. They don't know what it feels like. And I'm like, well, that's one way to corner a market. And then all the dues I paid on the tech brand, on the tech channel, gave me the ability to figure this out.
Mhm.
So that's well, I'm on a tangent now. But I'm saying is I looked at the entire field of what was going on, and I have to identify what's missing and what can I do that I like, that I'm comfortable with, that I
Mhm.
get excited about. Everybody buries wrestling. I have two review shows where we talk about what's the holes in these shows.
Sure.
But with my channel, the beauty of it is I can pick whatever I want and talk about whatever I want, and I can relive my childhood watching Magnum and Nikita in a best of seven, watching this from back then, watching Hogan and Warrior, and then have the knowledge to look at it and say, "Oh, this is what they were trying to do." And then
Sure.
people look and say, "Yeah, I never thought of that." So
Sure.
all around it, I think it creates just an overall deeper appreciation and more credibility for what other people seemingly take it away. So I'm
Mhm.
serving hopefully the wrestling business and trying to elevate it the best that I can.
Sure.
That was a
Yeah.
long answer. I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry about that. That was great. I mean, I I think the thing that really comes through in everything you just said there is if you're going to create content, and for us, this is a good reminder for us, is that we always have to stay as authentic as possible. And anybody that would be considering getting into content creation, maybe not whatever level that looks like for you, the authenticity is the biggest piece. I've worked with a lot of people in the X endurance world. Um, there's a lot of people that come into the world that want to earn income with X endurance. There's referral things. So like people want to know how to do what I've done for the last 10 years. So I talked to a lot of different people about it. And I can distinctly remember having a conversation where the person I was talking to is overweight. They are inconsistent. They're with their training and all that kind of stuff. And I told her, I said, here's the thing about this. You just have to be on the journey. You don't have to be a supermodel. You don't have to be uh, jacked and shredded. You don't have to be all those things. You have to be on the journey and authentic about that. And then she started putting out content that was authentic, and if she was struggling a day, she let everybody know she was struggling that day. If she had a great day, she'd let everybody know she was having a great day. And I don't know that I would call her a content creator, uh, in the vein of like what we do is creating YouTube shows and things like that. But she shares on social media. She posts on Facebook and Instagram. She posts content about her journey. And so technically she is a creator of content. But it's that authenticity of what's going on with her that has made it so people follow her and pay attention to what she's doing because they genuinely resonate with that. And I think what you were saying there is just that being really understanding who you are and what is authentic to you can go such a long way in whatever it is that you want to create, whether it be fitness, wrestling, tech, or supplements, or whatever. It doesn't matter. As long as you're authentic to who you are, I think the content creation comes from a good place of trying to help people. You're probably going to have some level of success.
Well, you do the same thing with, go back to X Endurance. It's really easy to fool people, and you don't have to be authentic because nobody knows much about supplements.
It's fair.
I think that's why it's a huge industry, and there's so many people that don't get any results by just, because they don't know what to
Sure.
take. So you
Yeah.
like going and even talking about other products gives you more credibility as an information source. And then
Totally.
when you say, this is what I use talking about X Endurance, it has a different tone because it's kind of like that old WWE thing. Don't ever mention the competition.
Yeah.
But if you mention it, but you have a stronger offering,
Yeah.
there's nothing, there's nothing to hide.
Sure.
That's the thing. The thing that most people don't understand, and that's why you and I love fitness and even content creation, really, those are two things that you get 100% out of as far as the result of you sitting down and trying to create the content. You get out of what you put into it.
Mm,
Now,
yeah.
sometimes you're not going to get the views or subs or what, but the final product is your effort and time put into it, just like fitness.
Yeah.
So you can't, people are going to know you cut corners.
Yeah.
You just threw something together. If you don't have clean audio, which by the way, we're going to talk about fitness content creation. Let's segue into that. Because
Okay.
if you're going to be a fitness content creator, I don't care if you have one of these. I don't care if you have a GoPro 2, whatever it is. I don't care what kind of camera you have. If you have a potato cam, as they said back in the day on the tech
Yeah.
show, this is more important than
Yeah.
video.
Sure.
Clean audio and good audio cues. You got to get better at audio cues. It's an acquired talent, an acquired skill if you're doing fitness instruction. So if you're going to do workouts and you're going to try to tell people how to do things and move, it's got to be, don't even pay attention to the camera, pay attention to what you're saying.
Yeah.
And one other thing I would say, being a former yoga teacher, you create content for people. It's not show off time. Your
Mm-hmm.
time, no matter what level you're at, no matter how strong you are, how much CrossFit you can do, how many pull-ups or whatever, you have to appeal to the person that needs to modify the most. They
Sure.
might not be in front of you in a class. Those are the people you're talking to because those are the people who are going to follow you.
Sure.
The other people are
Sure.
always going to say, well, this guy's a better expert. This guy knows more. This girl, she's a better influencer. She's more jacked. She looks like an action figure. But the people that are beginners don't want those people.
Sure.
They want you to tell the how to finish the workout with the least amount of discomfort as possible.
Sure. No, that's good. Yep. That's
But everybody
pretty.
gets caught up with themselves, like you said earlier. They're doing it for themselves. They have to serve others. If you're going to open a business, create a YouTube channel, be on social media,
Mhm.
you can't make it about yourself. You're just gonna, it's a bad look after a while.
Totally. Yeah. No, that's 100% true. And authenticity, serving others, and picking an audience of of who you're trying to serve. Like you and I were just talking about this. We had a good conversation about it last week. We talked a little bit about it this morning. My audience is primarily CrossFitters, and me trying to appeal to too many other too many other directions, like I get real frustrated this any type of content creation, figure out who your audience is. If you're a fitness brand, you need to appeal to a fitness brand, right? You're not going to then transition from being a fitness brand to then talking to the older demographic, not necessarily, right? Like if you're a high performance fitness brand, going after an older demographic is going to be a bit of a stretch, or going after maybe soccer moms, or going after dads who don't work out. Like you're going to have a hard time making that transition. So if I'm talking to CrossFitters and all of my content is geared to CrossFitters, even making the jump to runners might be tough because I don't look like a runner, right? I can run, but I don't look like a stereotypical runner.
As long
And
as there's
so even,
ropes on each side, right? That's the only way I can run.
right, exactly. And so like making sure that you are finding the thing that's most authentic to you. I talk about this a lot when I'm helping people figure out how to get started with earning some income with X endurance and stuff. It's like, well, what is the lowest hanging fruit for you? What does that mean for you? And so in my space, it's, for both of us, wrestlers, we can talk wrestling speak all day, that's easy for us to have conversations there and to talk to people and whatever, and we can create content around that. In the fitness world, CrossFitters are where I speak the language. I can talk all day there. I used to be in the bodybuilding space a little more, and so I can speak bodybuilding too. I'm just heavily more in CrossFit now. But then when I talk to other people, it's figuring out, if you're going to create content, figure out what makes sense for you. The same girl that I was talking about with helping her being on the journey, she got a little pull behind motorhome RV type thing.
Mm.
And she joined a community, a Facebook community, a Facebook group with pull behind RV camper stuff. And it was just like, well, hey, there's your people. Those are your people you can talk to. That's your little niche that you can resonate with and you can speak to and provide value there. Even people in their motorhome need to find cool ways to take their supplements with them so that they can live healthy. Stuff like that. There's just things that if you're authentic and you're staying true to yourself, you're being as focused in on who you can actually help, I think you can create content around it and just being real. And yeah, I don't know where I was going with all of that, but I think that those are key parts of he's leaving.
You're trying to get in here.
Oh, gotcha.
Sorry about that.
No, that's all right. No
No,
problem.
that makes sense. I'll tell you what, if this, you want to talk, my wife and I, because I have the truck now, we look at those, not
yeah,
real estate, but the little RVs, and the channels are huge. Those channels, and also I talked to my friend Donovan Morgan, who's in the financial retirement planning, all that stuff. I told him, I go, right now with the economy, there's a dude walking down the road every single day, 7 days a week, talking about real estate, talking about mortgage rates, talking about the people's debts and stuff like that. He averages 50 to 60,000, if not more, views a day, just walking in with his iPhone, good microphone. That's audio is great. But I looked at the new channel, which is doing well, and I'm like, this one video is doing this. This guy does that 7 days a week. Like he's making like TV wrestler money on YouTube. Her with the RV, I did. Yeah. Like we talked about it. I think this is the next thing we'll talk about, next segue. I wouldn't look at quantity of numbers in your audience. I would look at quality.
Yeah,
100%. Like if you have 500 or even 100 loyal audience members that'll support you and buy and consistently, like with X Endurance, subscribe, do whatever. That's a living right there. 100 people. You're looking at the number because of your ego, but you're not looking at the actual affiliate sales and stuff like that. So that there, like, but if you had both, that would be great because you have mailbox money from both. But you got to know your audience. You also have to not really pay attention to the numbers. Pay attention to more of what you're doing. Those will come because that's the next thing. You can speak on both these things, Mike. Comparison is the thief of joy. Nothing will end your content creation dreams more or quicker than looking at somebody else doing the same thing.
Yeah.
They're not you. Totally. They're not you.
Yep. Yeah. No, I agree with you on that. And I think with content creation, people hesitate because of that, because of the comparison. They're like, oh, well, I can't do that. You've got way more subscribers than me, and you're way more well known than I am, and all this kind of stuff. And I think going into it with a mindset of finding something you enjoy, finding something you're passionate about. Like, I'm passionate about supplements, you're passionate about fitness and wrestling, and finding things to create content around, and not getting bogged down with necessarily making money at it right away. Yes, ideally it would be awesome to in the future make money at things and do things and create a living out of it. But if you just want to create content, just create content and try to help people. And if you come at it from that perspective of, I'm doing this because I love it, I'm doing this because I want to help people, I'm doing this because I'm being authentic to who I am. And then if you focus on that and focus on, it's not a cliche, but it's a saying where you help enough people get what they want, you'll get what you want, type thing. And if you can put out content that helps people live healthier, helps people do whatever that it is that you're putting content out around, then eventually you'll get what you're after. And maybe you don't even know what you're after right now by putting out the content, but eventually it'll pay off for you. And I think that's the thing with content creation, is you have to play the long game. And I think that's with anything, is, yeah, going fast is good. And in sales, people will say success loves speed. That's a thing that a lot of salesmen say. I've heard that for years about success loves speed, but longevity loves patience. And that's the truth. If you want to create something that's long-term, if you want to create something that's sustainable, being patient is way more important than going fast. And you can slow down, and eventually the speed will take care of itself because you have been patient in what you're doing. And I think that's in the content game. And when you're creating content, be patient with it. You're not going to be an overnight success in content. There's so much content available for people in the world. So much. I mean, think about how much content you consume on a daily and weekly basis.
I don't even watch TV. It's all YouTube. It's all YouTube all day.
Right. But think about how much you're consuming between YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter, or X, whatever you call it now, all these different places that you can consume content. There's so much of it out there. You're not going to just immediately jump through and be the top content creator in the world. You're not going to be a household name overnight in the content space. Like our show, for example, the Big Fitness Show. If we went into this thinking that we were going to be the top podcast in the fitness category within a month, we'd just be freaking delusional. Like there's no way that we came into this thinking that's what we were going to do. We came into creating this as a way for us to put value into the world and to hopefully help some people in the process. I mean, that's the goal of what we're doing here. We just want to put out as much value as we can. And if eventually we become a top podcast, awesome. Not going to stop things for us. We're going to keep doing this and keep trying to provide value because we both enjoy the crap out of it. We have a lot of fun with it. It fills our cup, and then we can pour into other people. And that's the whole goal behind it. So that would be my one piece of advice, I guess, in the content space, is just be patient with whatever it is that you're doing and what you're creating. It'll come. If you be patient and stay consistent, it'll come.
Well, to add on to that, most people aren't going to have perspective until they're after the thing. Like it all adds up. But also too much too soon could be the worst thing because you're not sharpening your skills. You're not earning it. The longevity or the slow and steady, like you said, is really much better because now you can figure out the path as you go along. And then when you get to the spot, you figured out all the mundane, logistical, algorithmic, all this stuff that's confusing, but you figured something out and you finally put your finger on where you need to be. If you get it all within a month, that's like, you have to use wrestling analogies, but sports and wrestling, even entertainment, when these people have a meteoric rise so quickly, it's just a weird thing. And it's really heartbreaking on the way down because you and I don't think anything's ever come easy for either one of us. And I wouldn't have it any other way because
Sure.
right now I'm comfortable with myself because I've always tried to be who that's who I am. I've never been handed anything. As a matter of fact, I've had stuff in a way taken away after I've earned it and given to somebody else.
Sure.
It's just that battle, you know. So if people get it so quickly,
Mhm.
it's how many people it's like winning the lotto. How
Yeah.
many people go broke after winning the lotto? How many
Sure.
people earn that money and keep it forever?
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
I think that's a
Well,
good
and you,
analogy between winning the lotto with content creation could be the worst thing that'll ever happen to you. Because what's year
yes.
two going to look like income wise?
Yeah, totally, totally. And I think to your point, the too much too soon um, has another angle on it as well. As far as too much success too soon could set a bad precedent and could set you up for failure. But trying to do too much too soon could be a problem too, you know. And trying to, yes, you wanna hit all the things and do all the platforms and cover all your bases and do all these things. But if you decide that you want to be a content creator and then decide, well, I'm going to do a content creator for YouTube show, plus I'm going to do uh Instagram show, plus I'm going to do a Facebook show, plus I'm going to post here on LinkedIn, plus I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and you've never done it before at all. uh you're setting yourself up for failure. But I think it's not just with content creation. I mean, that's anything in life. I think stacking habits and building habits over time is a long-term way of creating success, and you stack those habits to get yourself better and better. If you know, I've talked over the years, if you try to change your diet, change your fitness, change your eating plan, change your water intake, change all these things at once, yeah, you might have success for a little while, but how sustainable is that? Because you're eventually just going to break, or, you know, not that everybody breaks, but most people do. If you stack those habits, and so this first week you change your nutrition and you start eating healthier, and you do that for a couple weeks, and then after that you change another thing and stack a habit on top of that. And so with content creation, it's all right. Maybe you're just going to start posting on Instagram. Start posting on Instagram. Be consistent with that. Now that you've gotten comfortable with that after a couple weeks, add in Facebook. Well, I guess Facebook's not a good example because you can cross post, but add in another platform, you know, like start posting on uh, Twitter, and then start posting maybe after a couple weeks of that, maybe start posting on YouTube once in a while, maybe start creating reels, you know. Adding in layers and layers and layers will help you in your content creation journey if that's uh, something you want to do.
And for you, you can be as you can use it as an exciting announcement that we're expanding to this platform, expanding that instead of just hitting
Sure.
everybody with the paradox of choice. Too
Sure.
many choices, they're not going to choose anything. So
Yeah.
as you become pretty popular on one platform,
Mhm.
you can be like, or if people start asking you, have a poll, hey, would you want me to bring would you want me to start a YouTube channel or whatever? And you say, okay, you guys voted for it, and I'm starting a YouTube channel. You make it look like they decided to do that, even though you were planning to do it anyway.
Sure.
So I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
that's a heck of an approach there.
well, I mean, it makes your job easy because if you
Yeah.
start applying polls, what would you like to see? The problem is too that like I know my friend who hopefully you're going to be on his show, Mike, with the sliding bench trainer, talking about
Mhm.
total gyms. One of his interviews, people that he interviewed, they were like, "Oh, I asked the people what they want to see, and then they said we want to see this," and I did the video and it got like 4 views and never got picked up. So you'll get that too. You got to kind of have
Sure.
your own internal compass, but you do got to get feedback. The wrestling analysis thing has been a gold mine of what the audience, especially on Patreon, because they're paying for what they want to
Mhm.
see. So I want to give them the best value. So I
Sure.
put polls up there. And when they win, then most of the people on Patreon are getting exactly what they want. That's
Mhm.
what makes it beautiful at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. And it all goes back to the authentically asking questions and serving others. You know, you ask those questions because you want to serve people, and that's the core content. If you're just putting out content that's not serving anybody, it's going to fall flat, and you're going to get discouraged and you're not going to have much success. But if you go at it with a heart to serve people, and you know what, like uh if you're just doing entertaining content, that's serving people too. You know, Mr. Beast, the biggest freaking YouTuber on the planet, he just does entertaining content, you know, like it's entertainment. And when you watch a TV show or anything like that, yeah, it's not giving you any, maybe not no education or anything like that, but it's giving you that entertainment for 24 minutes or 22 minutes or however long it is, right? Like that is serving people as well with the entertaining piece of it. So just figure out how you can serve people and what makes sense to you, or don't do content at all if you don't want to do it. This is just kind of a pulling back the curtain a little bit of what Stevie and I talk about and think about as we can figure out how to serve you better with the show, how we can do better to create better content, and share a little bit of the insights of that to help anybody who might want to do some of the same stuff.
I couldn't have ended it better myself. So you can take us
Yeah.
out.
Yes, sir. Yeah, no, that's great. So, yeah, so with that, I mean, that's the goal here is what we're trying to do. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. If there's something you want us to talk about, if there's a topic that you're interested in hearing that you'd like for us to talk about, if you like more of the behind the scenes kind of conversation of how to do what we're doing, let us know. We'd be more than happy to talk about stuff like this. Cause again, here, our whole point is to just serve you guys. We do have a new email address that you can email us at. It's the big fitness show at gmail.com. Shoot us an email with any comments, questions, concerns that you might have. Would love to engage with you there. Yeah, just, you can always check out Stevie's channel, check out my channel. Please follow, like, comment, subscribe, all the things, share the content, share the show. If you think any of this information is valuable, we've had some great, conversations in the past. Last week was about the compounding effect of fitness, and that was last week, right?
Yeah.
Am I off? Yeah, I thought so.
Like
Yeah.
longer,
Yeah. So that was a good episode. Got some good feedback on that. So thanks for tuning in to this week's episode, everyone, for the medium getting bigger, but staying the same weight every day. Stevie Cool and myself, Big Mike Behrens, and the Big Fitness Show. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.